All right. I see we have everybody coming in to join us today for our VRM Insider. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to get in and get everything set up.
Good afternoon, everyone.
All right. Looks like we're good. I'm just going to throw this out here because I have done this before. Can you all hear us out there in the real world? Somebody can just put a yes or in the Q&A box just to let us know. That would be awesome. Oh, good. Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Okay, so we are up and ready to go. So welcome to today's episode or webisode, I guess, of VRM Insider. I am Lauren, and I am very happy to be with you guys again today. And we have an excellent lineup. So today we are going to start by introducing a new face at VRM. And then we are going to go into the segment on Welcome Home. And today we're going to focus on a little bit of a different area in Welcome Home. Usually we talk about the different training aspects or how Welcome Home actually helps you all as the client. But today we're going to take a look at how Welcome Home can be used to improve your guests' experience. So we're going to go through that. And then once we finish with that, we're going to get a chance to go back to Ondrea to hear some of her goals and visions that she has for VRM coming up. So I'm very excited for her to be able to share those with you. And then we will conclude our webinar today with questions and answers. If you all do have questions that come up during the session, go ahead and feel free to drop them in the Q&A box at the bottom. If it's something that we can answer along the way, we will. Otherwise, we'll just wait and catch up with all the questions at the end. And the questions can be for me regarding Welcome Home or for Ondrea. She is an awesome person, and I know that she is very eager to hear from you guys. So with that being said, I am going to share my screen and we are going to get started. So again, today we're going to focus on Welcome Home and 5 ways that Welcome Home Complete can level up the guest experience. But before we get into that, as promised, we are going to introduce you to Ondrea Valenzuela. She is the newest member to the Inhabit team and to the VRM family. She has been with us since the end of June and has already been making waves and pitching in and helping out. So I am super excited to introduce her to you guys today. She is officially our Director of Operations and Sales. And so I am going to turn it over to Ondrea.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I've been itching to get to be introduced and have the official introduction so that I can start reaching out to some of you guys. I didn't want to just start calling customers and introducing myself and you guys kind of get confused on who I am. So I'm excited to actually have you guys see my face, tell you guys a little bit about me. Not only from a business or corporate background, but also just some interesting facts as well. And then I'm excited to share with you guys my vision and goals for VRM. I'm super excited to join the team and, to really just make some really good changes and impacts for this company. I'm excited. All of the staff have been here forever, and it's really amazing to get the support that I've gotten from them so far. And I can really tell that we're gonna make some huge impacts the rest of this year and into 2023 and in the future. So a little bit about myself, Lauren.
All right. So before you came to VRM, what were you doing? Where were you? What did you like? What kind of experience are you bringing to us?
Okay, so I'll try to tell this in more of story form instead of just listing it out, so you guys can just also see my personality. But I actually was sleeping, dreaming, eating everything as a kid in the property management industry. So my mom was actually a vice president of a property management company for almost 30 years. And so as a teenager, a small child, and then as I got older, that's basically all I ever knew that she did. And I would work for her in the summers at her different properties that they manage, and I would help lease apartments. And did that during the summers, and then went off and got married and had some kids and came back, and then decided actually to go into that full time as my career. And so I started off with Bristol Property Management Company, which was a small company based out of Dallas. And I managed a property for them for about 6 years. And then ended up moving to a different property that was a HUD property. Didn't so much like that as much. Ended up getting pregnant, having my third child. And when I was at the HUD property, I focused a lot on the software that we used, because I had used that software at the other property management I was with. And that software was actually the operational side of the software that helped them operate their business. And so that company was RealPage. And I ended up actually, before I went back from maternity leave, looking them up, and knew that I had experience with it because I had used it for so many years. I thought, you know what, I could probably go work for them, and I could probably do really well at it since I knew how to use the system for so long. So called them, got an interview, got hired on the spot, and ended up working at RealPage for 8 years. And that is my most recent role in corporate America. I ended up getting laid off during COVID, which was super unfortunate, but also fortunate. I ended up starting my own business consulting firm, and was doing that when I was contacted by Inhabit, or VRM, well, Robin, who is my leader, and told me about this amazing company that's small and was purchased by Inhabit, and they needed someone to help them grow and someone to help them, get more into the times of the industry. And I had done that in my past role at RealPage. So I was super excited to come to VRM and help you guys do the same. So that's kind of my history, my background, in a less boring manner. But again, excited to be here. So let's do more of the funner stuff, like the interesting stuff about me, I guess.
Well, yes, everything that she just shared, I stalked her on LinkedIn so I could catch all that information. And I was
yes, and if you guys want to add me on LinkedIn, please feel free to do so. It's not stalking. I would love to connect with you guys there for sure. So it's Ondrea Valenzuela on LinkedIn.
Excellent. So with that, again, very excited about all the experience Ondrea has that she's bringing to the team, all the different teams she's worked with in the past. And I know that's helped her grow tremendously in this industry, as well as just across the board. So we are super, super thrilled to see what skill set she's got that she is bringing to the team here, and just all the new ideas that she's able to incorporate into some of the things we have been doing, and helping us find new ways to do things that we've been trying to do. And again, just super excited about what she has to offer. However, we know that there's more to Ondrea than LinkedIn will allow her to share. So my question to Ondrea was, who are you really? And I want to give you a chance to let us see more of what makes you, you.
Perfect. Thank you. So I am a single mother of 3 kids. I have a 17-year-old daughter, a 15-year-old daughter, and a 10-year-old son. I love going to the movies. My favorite snack at the movie theater is popcorn and chocolate covered cookie dough. If you put the chocolate covered cookie dough on top, let it melt a little bit, you get a little bit of salty and sweet, and it's really, really, really good. I know it sounds weird, but it's really, really good. Some of my other hobbies, I love to travel. One of my goals in life, once my children will move away from home and I can be by myself, anyways, that will be sad, but one of my dreams is to renovate an RV and travel the US. I have a feeling at least one of them will probably want to come with, and that's okay. I was born in California, San Diego, California, on the naval base there. So I'm a little bit of a military brat, although I don't really remember all of that. But somehow or another, we got to Texas when I was about 5, and I have been in Texas ever since. Grew up in a city called McKinney. And then when I was ready to buy my home, I moved to a town called Princeton, Texas, which is about 12 miles down the road from McKinney. And none of you probably know about that at all, but it's about 45 minutes north of Dallas. And I was sharing with Lauren, like the town is so small, like there's not even a Chick-fil-A or a Chipotle or any of those. I mean, there's McDonald's and things like that. But we have like 5 restaurants that like their main thing is like tacos, which I love tacos. Like, don't get me wrong, I love tacos, but it's just very small. It's grown actually a lot even since I've moved here about 3 years ago. But the advantage was I was able to get my home, you know, more expensive or less expensive than today. So that was good. But what else? Oh, I love to camp. I know I may not look like a camper. People say that about me, that I don't. I'm like, what? No, I love to tent camp, like in an actual tent, with an air mattress and an outside, you know, toilet area. And I love to make meals on a casting iron skillet or foil dinners in a hole in the dirt. And I think that's probably one of the reasons that I was excited to come to this side of the industry with, you know, resort management or vacation rentals, because I love to travel. And so that's a like very exciting thing to me, to be able to connect with you guys as customers and understand what you guys are doing in this industry, because it's so much of a passion of mine and you cater to people like me. So that's super exciting. What else? Did I leave anything out? I got everything.
I think that's
except for, you know, a little about my kids, but
you're a proud mom. 3 kids, 3 different personalities, I bet.
Yeah, very, very different. Yes. I'm sure all parents know that their kids are all very different. So they think I have a favorite, but I don't. I just, you know, they're each their own unique person. So, but that's it. It's all about me.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate you taking time, Ondrea, to share about who you are and what makes you unique. I think as everybody's getting a chance to get to know you, stuff like that is just really important, so that people know you on a personal level. And I think we relate to each other all better like that. So thank you very much for taking the time to open up and share that with us and with those tuning in today.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. Everything you just said. And when you guys do get a phone call from me, it's very casual. It will be, I want to know about you and your businesses and you personally. So that's the kind of personality that you'll get from me. And hopefully y'all will be welcoming of that. So.
Well, Ondrea, I must tell you, we've already gotten one person. Cynthia has responded in and says welcome, and that she also has a camping bug. So perhaps you guys can set up a camping trip and go enjoy that together.
Yes, I'm excited. Well, Cynthia, you'll be one of the first people I reach out to. Then we can talk all camping.
Awesome. That's cool. Now, Ondrea, is it okay with you? We're going to come back to you at the end of our session today, just to get some more information from you regarding where you see us going and goals you have for the company.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. And again, if you guys have any questions for Ondrea, feel free to drop them in the Q&A section, and we will have a chance to go through those at the end of the session today. Very cool. All right. So we are going to move on and get into welcome home. And for those of you who know me, you guys know I absolutely love welcome home. I think communication is huge, and I absolutely value it. And I find that a lot of companies sometimes downplay how important communication can be, especially in the vacation rental industry. So many things go on, so many things change. We are really pleased and proud to be able to provide you all with the different tools that Welcome Home offers you. And today we're going to be focusing on Welcome Home Complete. And again, as I mentioned, we're going to take a look at it from the guest perspective today. And we're going to focus on 5 different areas in Welcome Home Complete that can help your guests have an improved experience when they're staying with you. So the ones we're going to go over today is that using Welcome Home Complete will help you guys increase the odds of getting the information to your guests that you need to. It's going to provide your guests another way to contact you. It's going to help ensure that the information that you have about the area and the vacation property that your guests are staying in is up to date. It's also going to provide a way for you all to protect the sensitive information that guests are sharing with you, especially around the financial aspects of their reservation. And the last thing we're going to take a look at is safety. Welcome Home Complete is going to help you make your guests' safety a priority. And part of that is because with Welcome Home Complete, it is an investment on your part. But I want you guys to think about it as an investment in your guests' safety. You're making it a priority. You're investing time, energy, resources into it, and that's going to be huge for your guests. So moving on, I want to first take a look at the differences between Welcome Home Light and Welcome Home Complete. And I know we've looked at these before, but I just kind of want to refresh your memory as far as some of the features that the complete version of Welcome Home offers that the light version does not. Both versions offer event messages that can be sent out by email and one-time messages that can be sent out by email. When you upgrade to the complete version of Welcome Home, you're actually also adding in the ability to send text messages. And these are for the event messages or for the one-time messages. So messages that can be set up to be triggered by the system to go out at a specific time, or with the one-time messages, something that needs to be sent out just to a specific group and may not be something that gets triggered by the system. And I like to think about things like that. Emergency situations, so information you want to reach out to let your guests know about right away. With the Welcome Home Complete version, you've got different categories that are accessible to you when you're setting your messages up. So we have the administrative category, financial, and marketing. With the light version, we've got the administrative messages that can be sent out. And then with the one-time messages, with the light version of Welcome Home, you've got the administrative, and you also have the emergency text messages, or I'm so sorry, the emergency email messages that can be sent out. With the complete version, you not only get the administrative categories, you also get financial, marketing, and emergency for both the event messages and the one-time messages. With the complete version, we've talked about this before, there is an additional fee for the complete version, and that's usually just a standard setup fee and then a reoccurring monthly fee. And that's to help us cover the cost of the text messages so that we can get that information set up for you guys and that you have that available to your guest. One of the other big differences between Welcome Home Light and Welcome Home Complete is that Welcome Home Complete actually feeds into the guest extranet. So it gives you a way to add information to the guest extranet for those vacationing with you that they may need access to while they're staying there. And it just gives you one more way that you can ensure that they have a wonderful vacation. With Welcome Home Complete, two of the big things that we've talked about that set it above Welcome Home Light is the ability to send text messages and the guest extranet. With a text message, by utilizing that form of communication, you are actually increasing the odds that your guests are going to be able to receive the information that you need them to. And looking into this, I was looking for some statistics so that I could share them with you. And again, this is definitely a different way to look at stuff today, but I was really excited to see this. And I had no idea this was the case. But the open rate for text messages is about 98%. So about 98% of text messages that get sent are actually opened. If you compare that to the email messages, they only have an 80% open rate. So even with that, if you look at it, it's going to be different. You're going to have a better shot at getting your guests to open up your text message than you would get them to open up your email message. So again, you're increasing the odds that your guests are actually going to get the information that you're sending to them. If you do go to Welcome Home Complete, or if you already have it, there are ways to set up text messages under both the event message category and the one-time message category. So for those of you guys who may be taking notes and are just learning how to set up different types of messages in the system, for the event messages, if you go under the Welcome Home module and then go to event messages, when you click on the new message rule, you'll have an option to select your message type. You can either select email or text message. So if you're wanting to set up text messages, that's the best way to do it for the event message. And also for the one-time message, if you go into the system under Welcome Home, go to one-time message, and click next, you'll again see the option to choose either the email message type or the text message type. If you're utilizing Welcome Home Lite, the text message option will be grayed out, and you'll have a message letting you guys know that it's available through the complete version. And if you reach out to us, we'll be happy to get that set up for you if you want to move in that direction. One of the other advantages for using Welcome Home Complete, as far as from a guest standpoint, is that you're going to be providing your guests another avenue for them to be able to reach out to you. As I mentioned earlier, the Welcome Home Complete version ties into the guest extranet. So when a guest logs into the guest extranet to make a payment or to sign their vacation rental agreement, they'll notice that there's a section that's called Welcome Home. Underneath the Welcome Home header, you can see on the screen here that there are different menus within that main group of Welcome Home. The last one on the list says, send us your requests. This actually provides a way for your guests to log into the guest extranet and send you an email. Sometimes I know that we're vacationing, we've forgotten the phone number for the company that we're running through. We can't find their email address. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I've forgotten what company it was I rented through because I enjoy so many different locations and places. It's tough to keep them all straight. But by going on to the guest extranet, when a guest clicks on the send us your requests, another screen will open up so that they can actually email you straight from that portion of the guest extranet. They can send you an email, and the email address that it goes to is whatever you all have set up in Welcome Home. And that configuration you can see on your screen is under Welcome Home, Configurations, and then the Office tab. Underneath the Offices tab, you can select different offices, which is great, especially if your offices are in different locations. And you can actually set the from email address there. And that's the address that emails will be sent to if a guest initiates one through the guest extranet. When the email comes into your email box, you can respond to the guest right from your email box. And when you do that, the guest will receive an email back, so they won't have to log back into the guest extranet to see your response. It'll actually be sent to their regular email inbox. So again, this is just giving your guest another way to reach out to you should they need to. Another advantage for the guest when you guys use Welcome Home Complete is that you're going to ensure the information that they have available to them is up to date. Welcome Home Complete allows you to set up information within the VRM admin console that gets fed over to the guest extranet. And the information can be grouped in different ways. Two of the areas I want to focus on today is the information that can be set up regarding the area information. And this again would be stuff that you want to share with your guests that have to do with, the area that they're staying in. For people who are unfamiliar with the area, this is a great place to put information about restaurants, churches, museums, things they can see, things they can do, just things they can experience within the area that they're vacationing in. If you want to set this information up, if you go in under Welcome Home and the configuration section, again, we're going to go to the Offices tab, and then underneath where you've got your information listed as far as your from email address that we just looked at, there's an area to add guest extranet area information. The information that you add there is viewable on the guest extranet, and this is a WYSIWYG editor. So the way that you enter the information into this editor is the way it's going to display on the guest extranet. So for example, we can see here, we've used different fonts, different colors to put in our area information. If we move over, we can see on the guest extranet that under the Welcome Home section, we have area information. And then if a guest clicks on that, they're going to see the information that you all have entered in under that Office tab. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that you can keep this information up to date. So while right now I've got information in there regarding the Pine Knoll Shores Aquarium, Grandfather Mountain, and the Biltmore House, and different information as far as the hours or a contact number, if that were to change, I can easily come into the guest extranet portion of Welcome Home Complete, make that update, and it will feed over to the guest extranet for all guests that are logging in that have a property that's associated with that office. So for example, If the Pine Knoll Shores Aquarium is closed for renovations, if right now it says, oh, it's open daily from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and I don't go in and update that information, I may have a guest that travels all the way down the island to go to the aquarium, only to find out that it's closed when they got there. With Welcome Home Complete, I can easily go in and update this and just say, oh, temporarily closed Monday and Tuesday due to renovations. When the renovations are over, I can come back in, make one simple change. And again, I am making sure that the information that's being communicated to the guests is correct. And let me tell you, this is a whole lot easier than going door to door and letting people know that the aquarium days and times have changed, or going in and taking white out on that little placard card that hangs up on the refrigerator with the area information to make changes when stuff needs to be updated. So I just think this is a great tool to communicate stuff going on in the area, and again, allows you to easily be able to update the information. With Welcome Home Complete, not only do you have the ability to put in area information that you can share with your guest, but you also have the ability to put in property specific information. And again, this is something that you guys can do at the office. Go under Welcome Home, go under the configuration section, and this time, instead of going to the Offices tab, you're going to go to the Properties tab. Underneath the Properties tab, you'll be able to select which property you're adding the information for, and then you can put in the property specific information. This is the place I like to suggest people keep up with the Wi-Fi username and password. If there's a community pool and there's a combination to get into the pool, this information can be posted here. Again, it's very important information to make sure your guest has the best possible vacation experience. And if it were to change, it saves you guys from having to drive down to that property and update the guest on what may have changed with the internet, community pool, or any policies that may have been updated if they're staying in a specific condominium complex. You can be sure that everything your guest has access to is actually correct and is up to date. With this, if they log into the guest extranet, again, you can see here what we have added at the office, so in a house. And then on the guest extranet, if they log in under Welcome Home, they have a property details section, just like they have for the area information, and the information gets fed over here. I didn't mention this when we were looking at the area information, but the Pine Knoll Shores Aquarium, Grandfather Mountain, and Biltmore, those were all hyperlinks. So you can actually put that information in as well. When the guest clicks on it, it'll take them to that web page so they can get additional information about things to do in the area. So again, just a great tool to be able to be sure your guests know what they have around them, especially for people who have never been to the area before. If moving on, we have another area I want to take a look at, and that is you can help protect your guests' financial information by using Welcome Home Complete. And that's just going to give your guests a little bit more of a peace of mind. Not that they think anybody's going to be dishonest about stuff, but with Welcome Home Complete, when a guest logs into the guest extranet and they go under the message settings section, they're able to add additional people that are in their vacationing party. So for example, I've logged into the guest extranet. I have myself listed. I'm the main guest on the reservation, but I've also added my sister and my niece in as people who are vacationing with me. With Welcome Home Complete, I can say, all right, I'm adding these people to my reservation. And by adding on myself, I can also help determine which messages they're going to have access to. So with Welcome Home, we've talked about the different categories that are available for messages that are being sent out: administrative, financial, marketing, or offers, and emergency messages. Here I can go in and say, okay, I want to get all the information that comes from the company I'm renting from, but I don't need my sister and my niece receiving any messages that come out regarding the finances. I don't want them to know how much I'm paying for the vacation property. I don't want them to know when I have payments that are due. So any messages that are sent out through Welcome Home that have the financial category selected, I know are not going to go to my niece or my sister. So by having Welcome Home Complete, you're just helping to ensure that that information is protected, that your guest is sharing with you. So nobody else who's on the reservation will see any of the financial messages that get sent out. And the fifth thing that I want to talk about today regarding how Welcome Home Complete can help your guests stay be even better is by investing in Welcome Home Complete, you are investing in your guests' safety. You are clearly making their safety a priority by taking that extra step to be able to provide them information via text message. And I know that may sound a little strange when you think about it, but with Welcome Home Lite and Welcome Home Complete, you have the ability to send out emergency messages. With Welcome Home Lite, the emergency messages that you send out have to be emails. There's not an option to send a text message out. And most of the time, if we think about it, messages and information that are emergency really need to be viewed by our guest sooner rather than later. Something's come up, we need to make them aware of it right away. With emails, that's awesome. They'll check it, they'll eventually see it. But with text messages, they're much more likely to see it sooner. With text messages, again, I was looking into statistics to see what I could find about this. And with this, you have your open rate. Again, for text messages, it's 98%. And with email messages, it's 20%. And having going through the slides, I'm totally going to tell myself in my other pie chart, I had my numbers reversed for the email messages, and I didn't realize it until I said it out loud. So email message open rate is really 20%, not 80%. And I do have resources on the last slide from where I got the statistics. So if you want to double check me, you can. And at this point, I don't blame you. But anyway, just wanted to point that out. With text messages, there's a 98% chance that they're going to be opened, whereas with emails, it's going to be a 20% chance. Timing is another big issue. If somebody gets a text message, they are more likely to open it within 90 seconds. With an email message, they're more likely to open it within 90 minutes. And again, if something that you want to communicate with your guest is time sensitive, that additional hour and a half could make a huge difference as far as their vacation planning. If a road's washed away, a bridge is closed, hurricane evacuation information, blizzard information. I mean, there are just a number of things that really could be more dangerous if the guest isn't aware of them sooner. Going through again, looking at different things, the click-through rate for text messages, they have a 19% click-through rate, whereas emails have a 3.2% click-through rate. And based on one of the surveys that I found, smartphone users, actually 85% of them prefer to be contacted via text message as opposed to email messages, which I thought that was very interesting as well. Other things to keep in mind as far as advantages for text messages, especially when you're trying to communicate something that's time sensitive, is that the internet's required to be able to see email messages. There's a 50% chance that your email could be delivered to a spam folder. And with email messages, you also have filters that could block messages from getting to your guest's inbox. So even if you need to communicate a lot of information to your guests, if you have Welcome Home Complete, you can at least send a text message out to say, hey, check your email. We have a lot of information regarding hurricane evacuation. So at least they know there's something else going on. And another example of that, we were at, I think, VRM Intel a few years ago after the fires that they had up in the mountains of Tennessee. And I was speaking to one of the gentlemen who had actually been staying in the area that was impacted by those fires. And he was saying that, man, if he had gotten a text message about what was going on, he would have been able to prepare for that much faster than he was able to just by receiving an email communication. And that's just something that stuck with me because I don't think about that type of timing and emergency where I am. But that's just, again, just another example of timing being of the essence. And something else that I've thought about in preparing for this regarding timing is I have to wonder if Hazard County, Georgia, had the ability to send out text messages warning people about bridge closures, how many less jumps and risky behaviors would Bo and Luke Duke have found themselves in if they could have gotten a text message letting them know that the bridge was out? Just something to think about. All right, so just summing it up with Welcome Home, we've gone through 5 different ways Welcome Home Complete can help improve your guest experience. So we know that it will increase the odds that your guests will receive messages if you send a text message versus an email. We know that with Welcome Home Complete, because of the tie into the guest extranet, You're going to allow your guests another way to contact you because they can send you an email from the guest extranet. You can ensure that the information that's being shared with your guest regarding the area and the property are up to date because you can control that from your office and update all the properties at one time so that you don't have to individually go to the homes and make sure the information that's being displayed is correct. You also can protect sensitive financial information regarding reservations if you have more than one person on a reservation, and you're making your guest safety a top priority for you. You're investing in them, and that goes a long way. So that's what I have today to present on Welcome Home. Let me know what questions you have. And Ondrea, before I ask you about your visions and goals, I just want to ask you, is there anything you want to ask about Welcome Home or chime in about things we've gone over today?
Well, one of the things that I think I was thinking about as not only someone who would be maybe staying right with one of our customers or whatever, but also our customers is, one of the things we chatted about that was funny to me was, sometimes when I stay in places, they'll have like a card or a magnet or something that tells like the Wi-Fi passcode or, the phone number or just different information, right? I can't tell you how many times either I don't see that piece of paper with all that information, or maybe one of my kids picked it up to put the Wi-Fi code in and now I can't find it, so it just disappeared. And then I want to go and try to contact somebody, and then I can't find the phone number, and and then we sit for hours without Wi-Fi or different information, like how to work the TV is a big one sometimes. Actually, I think I just stayed in one not too long ago in Oklahoma, and we could not get the TV to work to save our lives. And I'm sure as the homeowner, the person renting out the place is like, I don't want to put instructions, those things get lost, right? Or you could create a binder and put all that stuff in it, right? But you have to replace those things. You have to keep them updated. You have to make sure someone's got to check and make sure, right? You have to add that to your operational processes that say, hey, we got to make sure that stuff is there every single time the person that's rented it previously has left, so the next person has all that information. And if that step is missed, then you're going to get phone call after phone call after phone call, and sometimes still get the phone calls even though you have all that information there, right? Yep. So if they have something at their fingertips where they can log into and all that information is there, I think that's just really convenient. But what I did want to do, Lauren, instead of going to my next piece, maybe have a Q&A for this specific part first, and then they can do Q&A after I go over some of the goals and things that we're going to do for VRM coming up.
Okay, that's a good idea. That makes sense. We do have a question that's coming from Paul. He's asked if we can embed pictures and text messages. At this point in time, we do not have the ability to do that, Paul. So if there was an image that you wanted to share with your guests, you could send them the text message and then direct them to their email to check for that, because we can add images to emails that are going out through Welcome Home, and that would be a way that you can communicate with them that you couldn't do through just the text message.
And Paul, actually, I can get a verification on this. Lauren, I don't know if you know, Jonathan had sent me a message a couple days ago, said that there is an enhancement coming to do attachments. So we just need to verify if that's just regular document attachments or also photos, and if that's in Welcome Home or Welcome Home Complete. So Paul, we can get back to you on that for sure.
We will. Thank you for that question.
That's a good question, actually. Actually, I would love to know if you can answer in the chat box. Give an example of like where you would actually attach a photo. And I think I know some, but I would love to get like your response on this. So when we take it back to Jonathan, if this isn't something that we can do today or in the near future, we can give him a justification as to why we would need that. But to add a photo in the text message. Would love to know that.
Excellent. At this point, I don't have any other questions regarding Welcome Home. But if you all think of them as Ondrea is going through with her next section, please feel free to go ahead and include them. But Andrea, I'm ready to turn it back over to you if you're ready for that.
I'm ready.
All right. Then what do you see as the future for VRM? What kind of visions and goals do you have for us?
Yeah. So before I go into that fully, one thing you guys will learn about me, and I think that all the staff have learned this about me. I'm very straight to the point, honest, blunt. If I know the answer, I will give you the answer. And what I will also always say, I'm not going to make a promise that I can't keep, right? And so I think this is a huge thing when we're talking about visions and goals, especially when these things are going, potentially affect you guys as our customers. But, I think that there was a time prior to me where, there was some nervousness around VRM and where it was going. And I think that for starters, adding someone like me who's over operations and sales is one great positive thing to see, that we're moving in a different direction than where some may have feared in the past. And so I did want to start off by mentioning that. And if you didn't know that and you had no idea, then now you know, and oopsie, right? But I do want to make sure that you guys do know that there are plans to continue to grow and make positive impacts with the VRM software and system. And a big portion of that is that we have to grow as a company. We have to, and not only, that doesn't necessarily mean just growing from a revenue standpoint, but obviously, yes, that's a huge piece of it. You guys run businesses, you know how it works, right? You can't spend money unless you make money. So that's one of the huge parts of it. But yeah, we want to grow. We want to add customers. We want our customers to talk about us to other people and refer us out so that we can get more customers. And when we get more customers, obviously that's more revenue, and that's more revenue to positively impact the software and put more money into the software so that it can become better. And so that's probably that is my number one main goal coming to VRM, so that we can move in that direction and just make things better from a software perspective, but also from our service perspective, because if we grow, then we can add more people. And when we add more people, we can do even more things. So I'll give you one example that I'm really, really looking into. And I think that you guys will be happy about this and would love feedback. If we can grow and we could add more people, then we could open up our customer service and support teams. So instead of emailing, or you could actually call and someone could answer. That would be something that I would be super excited to implement. But again, in order to do that, we have to grow as a company so that we can grow our employees, and then we can implement something like that. One of the other things that is super important to me is just from an operational perspective, efficiency. So when you are small, it's easy to get away with, I wouldn't say inefficiencies. That's not the right word. We're not inefficient today. It's just we're smaller, so we can get by and not having certain efficiencies. But we would be even better from a customer service perspective for you guys if we had more efficiencies. And one of those examples, and Lauren is actually working really hard with me on, is a better cancellation process. Now you're saying, why would you want us to cancel with you? No, we don't want you to cancel with us. However, you may not have as many short-term properties anymore. You may have to cancel our service on one of your properties because maybe you sold it. I don't know. There's many different things, right? Not just because you don't want to have our service anymore, but there's other reasons why you may have to cancel something with us, right? And today, I believe from digging into it, you can email any of us or and just shoot a message, right? And that's not being tracked. And so Lauren is working on a way to where we can streamline that process, and we can have data and history of any cancellations that come through. You only have one place that you go to do it. And so we can keep track of it much better and help us internally, things like that. The third most important thing to me is asking you guys what you need and want from us, not only from a customer service perspective, but also from a product perspective. And so I call that market research, some internal market research with our customers, but then also we need to understand as a business, where is the industry going? And not only what do our customers want, because we may have a certain customer base that we have currently today. And if we want additional customers, we need to understand what's going on in the industry and how do we implement that into our products and services so that we can attract other different types of customers. And so that's super important to me. And that's why I'm going to be reaching out to everyone, because I want to understand, as our current customer base, what is our product not doing today that you wish it would or could? And also from a service standpoint, what are we not doing that you wish we would? Or how can we get better? And then the next step with that would be to do some of our own market research in the industry to see what other companies are doing, what other software companies are doing, and then also what are other customer bases wanting or looking for in their software. And then lastly, I think really is I am very operational minded. This is probably my main skill set from my previous experience at RealPage, where I really focused on operational excellence. And so building efficiencies and automations that will help us to maintain high customer service ratings. I think one of the things that is very complicated to do is, if you grow, to maintain a certain level of customer service. And so it's really, really important for me to really balance that out and make sure that it's not all about the growth or the revenue, also maintaining how do we still serve our customers in a way to where they still feel like they're the only customer we have, if that makes sense. So building automations and better operational processes that help us to continue to do that is key for me. So I don't want you guys to think that, oh, if you grow, then it's going to, you're not going to be as good at customer service. That's not the key. Is to keep that in mind as we do so. So those are really my main focuses, and those will, there's lots of projects that are going on in each of those categories. And I think as I progress, and we'll come back on these webinars and we maybe talk about those a little bit more in depth and give you guys an update on some things that are coming. I think that would be great to have here. But if you guys have any questions about what I just explained, please feel free to ask. Or if you have any questions just in general about anything with VRM, please feel free to ask in the chat and we can talk about them now. Or you can wait until I give you guys a call, because I'm going to be going one by one. So it may take me a little while to get to you. So if you have a question that's urgent, you can ask it now, or you can feel free to reach out to me directly via email. And I can reach out to you from there as well.
Wonderful. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much, Ondrea, for sharing some of the thoughts and visions and goals you have for VRM. We're excited to grow and to see where you're going to lead the company. And again, thank you for sharing that with us. We do have a comment in again from Cindy or Cynthia, your camping partner. She says, I have always felt that VRM customer support has been great, and I'm sure the changes you will make will definitely enhance that part of your service.
Oh, thank you so much, Cynthia. Yeah. And listen, that's the feedback that we want to have, positive and negative. So thank you. I appreciate that feedback from you.
Yep. Thank you very much. We pride ourselves in our customer service. That has always been something that we have strived to uphold, because you all are important to us and we want you to know that it's not just something that we say. We actually back it up. We can talk the talk, but we work hard to walk the walk, and our training and support team is phenomenal. Michelle does a great job with that. She works with Tammy and Kevin and Michelle, Megan and Chandra and Ashley, and just so many people go into that strong support team. So we were very, very thankful for all that they give to reach out to you guys and to provide the support that they do. So kudos to you all for that.
Any other questions? Don't be shy. I'll answer them. I promise.
Right.
All right.
That is all we have for right now. If you all do come up with questions after the fact, feel free to reach out to us. You can email us or send it to the help desk, and those could be questions for Ondrea. We'll make sure she gets them. Or if you have questions about Welcome Home, Light or Complete, or if you're interested in seeing more of the different parts of Welcome Home, let us know and we'll be happy to set up some time with you just to go through it so that you can see what we have to offer there. And in closing, as promised, here are the 2 websites that I use to get my statistics from regarding text messages. We will add this, I think, to the blog. Tracy will work to get this information uploaded there so that you guys can go back and reference it at a later date. And I believe Tracy will also work with the marketing team to be sure a link is sent out to you all to this webinar. So again, you can rewatch it if you would like to, or share it with others who may have been unable to attend today. So in closing, I just want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your day to meet with us today. Thank you for welcoming Ondrea to our VRM family, and be on the lookout for newsletters that will be coming your way and other emails regarding our next webinar. So thank you again for your time, and thank you very much, Ondrea, for
Thank you, Lauren, for doing such an awesome job today. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, y'all have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.